Hi and welcome back to our channel, The Ballin Sisters. And today we will be discussing my plans for game week number 3 in the Fantasy Premier League, the FPL. And so we'll discuss about my formations, my final formations for game week 3, my cap, my subs, what formations like I said, what formations I'm going to be playing. And also, if you like such kind of videos, do like, share, comment, and enable those notifications for so that you don't miss out on such content. Moving on. So before we look at my this week's team and what I am planning to do. So let me show you what I had done last week. How did my team perform? So last week my team had about 70 points at the end of the whole game week, and overall rank for about 2,96,930, which I'm pretty pleased with. My formations, if you guys would have noticed, in the first two game weeks was about a 5-3-2-5 in defense, three midfields, and two forwards. And they did pretty well in the first couple of game weeks. But last game week, it was a few amount of disappointments which were there. Ramsdale didn't do well. He was unlucky. And then obviously Liverpool, my two people, Alexander Arnold and Andy Robertson, again didn't perform this week, and Salah blanked. So those were big problems for me. And even though Salah was my captain last week, so I was slightly disappointed that Salah blanked last week. And also, my another big disappointment for last week and my team was Nito. I actually bought him. That I really thought that Wolves did have good first two fixtures and he will perform. And I think so. Last week he was very close to scoring. And if you go back and check out the highlights, the angle was very narrow. So and he missed out. Instead of directly shooting in, he took a first touch and he lost what he had gained at that time. And that's why there was a huge disappointment for Pedro Neto, even though he's been there for a period of time in my for the first two game weeks. So I really thought that Neto will do me well. So now moving on from then, obviously my midfield. Then I have to look at my forwards, and I think so. Yes, for my last game weeks, my saving grace, and I think so for a lot of us, saving grace was Gabriel Jesus' performance in game week 2, and he gave a performance. He gave two goals and two assists, and he actually literally perpetually saved my game week. And if you guys remember that I had said that I might remove Gabriel Jesus in my previous video of my FPL, and that I'll remove him and bring in a Mitrovic. But fortunately or unfortunately, I when I was about to go and save the team, I got caught up with something and I didn't save him, and it was a blessing in disguise, or maybe whatever you call it. I just missed out on Gabriel Jesus being there, not being there. So he was there in my team, and he gave me 19 valuable points. And uh, so yeah, so this is what I did. I was expecting another big high expectations was from Haaland, but he just gave an assist against Bournemouth. So maybe a lot of things can be done, a lot of changes can be done in a team. So coming on to this week, yes, like a lot of a lot of people do have two transfers. Somebody have done one transfer last week. I had not done. Like I said, I missed out and saving my team. Maybe it came out as a blessing. So I do have two transfers. So starting off, I have kept new formation this time around. I've gone for a 4-4-2 formation. So I've got my goalkeeper at the back remains the same, on Ramsdale. He has some good people and some good games coming in for him. I believe Ramsdale has Bournemouth, Fulham, and Villa coming in very soon. I think the Bournemouth is this week. Then he's got Fulham, and then he's got Villa. So I'm expecting a certain high amount of performances coming in from our Ramsdale as well. So for this week as my goalkeeper and the coming weeks as well, I like to stick around with him. He seems to be a pretty stable guy. And if not Ramsdale, and my sub goalkeeper is Ward, so he's also there with me in case I feel that there is a requirement of a switch or maybe a change in goalkeeper. I may look at it in the future, but not right now. From my goalkeeper, let me go on to my defense. Yes, there has been certain changes. I've gone from changed my formation from a 5-3-2 to a 4-4-2. So this time around, the big change which is there is I have removed Andy Robertson because of his performances in the first two game weeks. I didn't feel that he was giving out what I expected out of him. So instead of Robertson, I've brought in a Cucurella. Chelsea's new signing is a £5 million. He's a 5 million sub in the FPL game. He's cost 5 million, and and he's a good like for like replacement because right now Chilwell is not well. He's not match fit. He's been playing behind closed doors. So Cucurella is likely to take that left wing back positions for the next couple of weeks and at least 3 to 4 weeks till the time Chilwell comes back into full health. So, and he did have an impact in the first game week coming from the bench and the second starting completely. So, I still feel that Cucurella will be a very, very important factor, especially on the left side from where he's playing for Chelsea. That is one aspect we can look at. That is why I have kept him along with Cucurella. I have James. He's been doing a phenomenal job for Chelsea in the first two game weeks. He's done well. He's been giving out points. He's been taking bonuses as well. So he's been doing a pretty phenomenal job, James. Along with that, I have kept Alexander Arnold. He does have some good fixtures and feel that I don't feel that I should change him right now. Even though he's a very costly defender, I may look at it at a after maybe a couple of weeks if Liverpool and Alexander Arnold's performances don't improve. So I may have to look at chopping and changing my defense sometime further. And then I do have Cancelo. He's been a permanent fixture until unless Pep's rule starts. So till the time that doesn't start off, I am keeping Cancelo. For this, earlier last week I had Trippier playing in my top in my 5-3-2 formation, but right now this week I've put Trippier on the bench because City and Newcastle are going head to head. And even though Newcastle has a good defense, they did well and Trippier has been performing well. But I still feel that City is more lethal and City's forward line is very, very lethal. So that's why I'm not taking any more chances and I am keeping Trippier onto my bench, and that is how it's going to be. From my defense, let's go on to my midfield. And for my midfield, again, like I said, last week I was playing a three man midfield. This week I'm playing a 4-man midfield. And starting off, I do have Salah. I have Martinelli. These two have been there for the past 2 weeks, especially my first 2 weeks, game weeks. This time around, I had mentioned my utter disappointment with Pedro Neto. So this time around, I am changing Neto and bringing in Luis Diaz. With now Darwin Núñez suspended for 3 game weeks, and I don't think Jota or maybe Bobby Firmino may be or may not be match fit. We'll obviously come to know slightly later, but I feel that Luis Diaz is going to be a very, very important factor in Liverpool's performance in this week and the weeks coming ahead, along with Mohamed Salah. So I feel Luis Diaz will be a very, very important factor. So I've kept him. I bought him in for Neto. And what that does is that gives me a good 3-man midfield. And obviously, I've got Andres Pereira from Fulham, who's making my fourth person in my midfield. Pereira is in Fulham and he's been playing well. I had seen him in the first two games. In the first game, he gave a bonus point. Second game, he didn't do so well. But then I feel that he has certain performances. And with this week playing Brentford, I feel Pereira might bring us element of surprise. So I'm playing Pereira this week, and it might be a big, big punt for me. That is there for me in my midfield, and I feel that Andres Pereira can do a lot of stuff with Fulham and the kind of performances Fulham is pulling out, especially in the first 2 game weeks, they did well. First game week, yes, they kept Liverpool at bay. So I feel that Andres Pereira will keep that thing going, and he doesn't disappoint this week for me, and that's why I'm taking a chance, a blind chance, a punt for Andres Pereira this week. From my midfield line, I'm going to my forward line. I am not doing any changes. I'm not touching with my forwards. I will look at bringing in somebody in the forward line, but right now, a good partnership of Gabriel Jesus and Haaland, and with the kind of games which is there for Arsenal, Like I said, Arsenal has certain very very good games coming in for them. They have Bournemouth, they have Villa coming in. They have got Fulham. So I believe Gabriel Jesus will have a lot of things on his plate, and the way he will perform is going to be very very interesting. And same goes for Haaland. Haaland has to be a little more critical. I'll be more critical for him because the kind of performance he gave in the first game week against the second one, he only gave an assist. But he has to be more clinical. He should have had scored. He should have scored a couple of goals last week, but then I don't think so. He has to be more clinical, and I feel that this week. This week I will be keeping a very very close eye for Haaland, because if Haaland doesn't perform and with the next coming game weeks, one of them being in the midweek, I may feel that Haaland might get that small amount of rest, which Pep might do, and playing a false line formation, it might happen as well. But at the age of 22, 20, 21, 22, which at which Haaland is, he might not require so much of rest. So, but we still don't know Pep Rule. He might do something or the other which we don't know about, and I really feel that Pep might, if he rests Haaland, I have to have a thinking point. If I remove Haaland, should I? How can I bring in Kane, or I might be able to bring in somebody else, and during that time, if somebody is available, so I have to look at that aspect as well. So this is and my front line remains the same. But this week with Arsenal playing Bournemouth, I feel that I will keep and the kind of performance Gabriel Jesus gave in last week for against Leicester City for Arsenal. I believe that Bournemouth is going to be in for a tough challenge, and my captain for this week, I might keep Gabriel Jesus for as my captain for this week. And for my bench, you as I told you, I have Ward as my backup goalkeeper. I've got Trippier, I've got Greenwood, and I've got Murphy from Newcastle. So these are my players, and this is what my team is for game week number 3. And yes, before I end this game week, I have to give a shout out to Sister, because last week he did beat me fair and square, and he was at about 78, 79. I finished 70. So let's see, can I be back on top against Sister this week? So see you guys in the next one. Thank you for watching. Bye.